Hello and welcome to Kingdom Wholesaling. I am your guy, Chris Francis, and welcome back to the station, the channel. Um, Glad you're here. So today I want to talk to you about Bandit Signs. Um, if you're in wholesaling or you're thinking about wholesaling, considering wholesaling, tossing around wholesaling, um, you kind of need to know ultimately when you're in wholesaling, you're in marketing. Okay. The entire business is really about marketing, getting yourself in front of sellers and motivated sellers in particular. And the way we do that is by marketing. So, whether that means you're doing RVMs, which are ringless voicemails, or texting, or cold calling, or direct mail, or bandit signs, it's all about the marketing. So today we're going to talk about one form of marketing in particular, which obviously is the bandit sign. Can you guys see that? So this is essentially what a bandit sign is. I'm sure you've seen them out and about. In the event that you didn't know or don't know what they are, that's essentially what a bandit sign is. The little signs that you see on the side of the road. Usually they're on stakes, but I know I personally use zip ties and mount them to different signs and poles and things of that nature. So, what can I tell you about bandit signs? Uh, I'm gonna start with the fact here. I've got some notes because I kind of want to keep it orderly and I don't want to skip a whole lot of it. So I try to write myself some notes here. So if you see me kind of looking down, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at my notes here. And again, for some reason, every time we do a video, we seem to be in the car. I guess the car is, guess the best place for videos. I guess because I spend so much time in it. But bandit signs. So the first thing that you need to understand is that bandit signs are pretty much illegal any and everywhere you are. Okay, pretty much all over the country. Um, every city, county, municipality has some type of ordinance against bandit signs. Okay, so typically that's enforced by your local code enforcement, and what that means exactly as far as enforcement goes really depends on your area. Okay, so you need to be familiar um, with kind of what's going on in your particular market. So you might have a city, right, where bandit signs are just completely off limit, right? You might have a city where you can put bandit signs in certain areas of that city, but you can't put them in other areas or sections of that same city. So you kind of have to know what that means, and you kind of got to figure that out in your market and what that means for you. Now, enforcement can also vary, right? So you've got to consider that as well. So enforcement for one city might just mean them riding around and picking all the signs up. So essentially, you just just lost some money on marketing, which you have to understand that if you get into wholesaling, you, there's just money you're gonna have to allot to marketing. Again, because marketing is essentially what you're doing. Okay, so that to me is just the cost of business. Okay, if you do Bandit Signs in particular, you have to be okay with them being picked up. They're gonna be picked up, and they're gonna be destroyed. Be it by the city and code enforcement. Sometimes you'll have other wholesalers. Um, Sometimes you'll have property owners or just people who have nothing better to do than to go around and tear down or vandalize your signs. It's kind of the cost of business um, when you decide to use bandit signs. It's just part of what it is. So you kind of have to understand that, right? So that might just mean, like I said, city going around taking the signs up. And also might mean them trying to contact you, and they might try to find you. Fine, FINE, not find, but fine, as in taking you to court and charging you fees. I've gotten calls from most cities in my area, and they'll tell you not to put them out. They're illegal. They don't want to see them again. You know, if they do, they're gonna track you down, and they'll threaten you with all kinds of court action. So you kind of need to understand that if you come into wholesaling and you decide to go with bandit signs, you have pretty much decided that you are going to be a renegade. Okay, so just kind of keep that at the forefront of your mind from this point forward. That from the moment you say I'm gonna use bandit signs, you're a renegade to one degree or another. It's just the nature of the beast of doing bandit signs. So you need to know that going in. You need to know it up front, because it's just part of what you do. Um, what do you put on your signs? Signs should be, to me, as basic as possible. Uh, this particular one says full price offer for your house, old or new. A lot of the other ones say we buy houses, um, cash, any condition. Um, that's pretty much, or just we buy houses. I mean, something as simple as that works wonders. You want the phone number to be pretty big and pronounced. And if you can make the phone number a different color than the rest of the sign, I think it'll stand out more. That's why I use what I use. So, secondly, don't ever put anything traceable on your sign, again, because they are for the most part illegal. So you don't want to put anything on there that's going to make it easy for you to be tracked down by code enforcement or the police department. So you don't want to put your email address, company name, a Facebook page, or any type of a direct link, to your company or your company name on your bandit sign. I've seen people do it, and they haven't done it for long. I don't know if they were tracked down or what happened, but don't do that. And also, um, your number, your phone number on your bandit signs should. People used to say use Google Voice. I tried Google Voice myself. I didn't like it. It is free, so if you have to use it, I mean, I understand. But the issue I had with Google Voice is when people called in, there's it's kind of a funny recording. It's like, let me connect you with that Google Voice number. And that can kind of be a little bit fishy to people sometimes. Um, I didn't like that. Also, secondly, when calls were coming in to me on Google Voice, I couldn't separate the ring. So I never knew if it was my regular phone number or the Google Voice number calling in. There was no distinction, no matter how much I tried to set it up. It was always the same, just a regular phone ring, whatever I had the phone set to then. So I use something called Sideline. Sideline is like $10 a month, and I think if you pay for it for the year in advance, it's like 69 or $70. So it'll save you some money that way. Um, but no email address. Um, don't use your real phone number on there. Use a Google Voice number or a Sideline number, something that can be changed pretty quickly, right? Now, if you put some money into your signs like I do, because when I buy signs at 1,000 at a time right now. So if something happens and I'm 200 signs into 1,000 and I need to change my number, I mean, that's just a bad day, you know. But again, it's just a cost of business. Fortunately, um, that's never happened. I've actually never had to change my number right now, and I've been using Bandit Signs for the better part of 4 years. So, but I'm ready in the event it ever comes up and I need to change it. So, but just kind of keep that in mind. I'm just kind of going over some things that you need to know about and that you just might want to consider about Bandit Signs. They work. You have to be consistent with them, but they absolutely work. I have done the vast majority of my deals. I've gotten the vast majority of my deals from Bandit Signs over the past 5 years. Next week, because today is February 8th, so next week, well, actually, this weekend will be Valentine's Day, which will make my company 5 years old. So we've got a 5-year anniversary coming up this weekend. And I've been using Bandit Signs the vast majority of that, at least about 4 years of the 5. So, but like I said, I do a lot of Bandit Signs. You have to be very consistent. You have to do, I would say, how many to do? I would say, number one, just blanketly as many as you can possibly afford to do consistently. As many as you can afford to do consistently. So I recommend a minimum of about 30 to 50 a week. I try to get as close to 50 a week as I possibly can. But what you'll find is, depending upon how long, if you're doing them consistently enough, and I mean really every week, sometimes, well, I will leave home and I'll have, or the office, and I'll have 70 Bandit Signs in the car, right? I'll have 50 on zip ties, because I use predominantly zip ties on my signs. So I'll have 50 on zip ties and 20 on stakes. And I'll leave with the intention of doing as close to 50 as I possibly can. Sometimes I might only get 25 or 30 out because I've been so consistent and I've been putting them out and they've been staying up longer. So what you'll find is you're basically just kind of riding around and maintaining them, right? They're not being taken down as quickly sometimes. You might hit a good streak where a sign might last or a section might last, a month or 6 weeks or something like that. And, so you're not actually putting as many out. You're just kind of maintaining them. And sometimes you go out and everything will be gone. You have to just put them all back out. And because I cover such a wide area, it'll take me, a few weeks to cover, my entire area with them. So, but I try to do 50 per week. I'm not gonna lie to you. Doing Bandit Signs is, you gotta stay on it, and it can get monotonous because you're going out 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and it's gonna take you. You're doing again, depending on the size of your market, the size of your area, and how many you're doing. It can take us 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours, depends on how many we're doing, how far we're going, because I cover, like I said, quite an area. So it just really depends. So you kind of gotta, take that into consideration as well. You're riding around 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes doing signs. Now, that speaks to when you do them. People have said to put them out on Friday nights, pick them back up Sunday night. I personally don't pick up any signs. I've never picked up a sign, as far as for the purpose of just, going to get the ones I put out. Sometimes if you put a sign on a stop sign or a yield sign or something, it'll kind of bend or fold in the wind after some time. So what I'll do at that point is, if I ride by and I see the sign has kind of been bent or folded, I'll cut it down and I'll throw it in my trunk. Then I'll replace that sign with a new sign. Now, what I'll do later is I'll take that same sign out and I'll put it on a stake, because then it can't bend. And so I'm basically repurposing that sign and using it a second time. So kind of learn like tricks of the trade like that with signs. Trying to see what else. How many signs? How often? Yeah, like I said, 50 a week minimum, if you can, every week. Where do you place them? So you want to place your signs in high traffic areas. We do high traffic intersections, stoplights, stop signs, anywhere you'll get a large amount of traffic. Major intersections are great, but I also, like I said, I put them on like stop signs and poles and things of that nature. You can do that. You don't have to do that. I will tell you that you will get more eyes on your Bandit signs when you mount them on stop signs and yield signs and poles, because people aren't looking for your signs. So the best thing that you can do is place them, as close to eye level as you possibly can. So if they're sitting on a stop sign pole as opposed to down on the ground, you just naturally, they're going to be seen easier, clearer, because they're directly in the line of people's sight, especially if they're looking up at a stop sign, or a yield sign or something of that nature. But that also means you're going to draw more attention from the city. I'm just gonna tell you. I get a lot more calls from um, code enforcement and from the police because my signs are mounted on the poles, and they're like, "Hey, man, that's." I've had cops tell me, "Man, don't do the poles, man. Just put them in the ground. We don't even care. Just, man, keep them off the poles." But I'm telling you, you're a renegade. If you're doing signs, you're a renegade. I already know. I know what I signed up for. I know what it is. I'm a renegade. So if I go out to do signs, we're gonna do signs. You know. So that's your choice. I'm telling you what I do. Your option is stakes, put them in the ground, or zip ties, put them on poles. The other thing, if you're riding around like it is now, and in February or January or December, in these colder months, and you're trying to put 50 signs on stakes in the ground every week, I'm telling you, you're probably going to want to hang yourself at some point because the ground is freezing cold. If you live in the north, I'm in Virginia. If you're in Virginia, and anything north of that, I mean, the ground is cold. The ground is frozen. Like right now, there's snow out here. I do very, very few stakes, just because right now I know what it is. You know, it's cold. I wouldn't want to be trying to do all stakes right now. That would suck. It would suck all the life out of doing bandit signs. Um, and that's why you see a bandit signs kind of take a dive in the wintertime. A lot of guys don't know how to do them. And it's also cold when you're out hanging them. You know, when you're out putting them out 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So that also discourages a lot of people as well. But I mean, it makes it easier for me because it keeps my call volume up, and I don't mind doing it. So, when do you go out? Yeah, I go out late night. I go out late night. I have been stopped by the police. The police themselves have never bothered me. How long do you leave them up and do you ever pick them up? I just explained that. No, I don't pick mine up um, unless I'm going to repurpose them. But just for the sake of going out on a Friday night and taking it back up on a Sunday, I don't do that. And I don't recommend that because, I mean, you want to get as many eyes on them as possible. And to do that, they need to stay up. You know, I believe that people frequent different places. You know, a lot of times if a person works during the course of the week, you know, they may only travel the course back and forth to work. Whereas on the weekend, they may venture out different places. So, I mean, for that reason, I just leave mine up, you know. But when you're first starting out, you do what you gotta do. So if you have to do that, I definitely understand. Um, so where do I get my bandit signs? You can get your bandit signs from a lot of places. Um, I get mine from a place called Dirt Cheap Signs, which is in Texas. And I think you can go to dirtcheapsigns.com and order them. But if you Google dirtcheapsigns.com, there's a phone number. If you call them and talk to them on the phone and place your order, and you tell them you're with Ty Taylor, the flip man, shout out to Ty, what's going on, man? But if you tell them you're with Ty, they will give you a 5% discount, which is a pretty good discount depending on how many you order. Like I said, I order 1,000 signs. 1,000 signs. I think this is 9 by 24. I believe that's the size. White, 2 colors, 1,000 signs delivered. I think it cost me like $1,050, right? So that's a pretty good price for me. Now, um, I don't do a lot of steaks, but I do some steaks, and I do keep steaks. Now, you can order steaks from them or from any other sign place. Steaks are very expensive because they are, um, I guess, metal, or they're thin metal, but still metal, or whatever that material is. They're heavy. So you will spend a lot of money on their shipping and handling because you pay by the weight. So um, it's ridiculous to me to order steaks from those places, which I used to. But the Duru did a video on YouTube, which I would link in the bottom, but I can't, y'all, because I'm not that computer savvy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I wish I could help you out with it. I can't. Just look up Duru. I think it's Duru. He's not your guru, he's your Duru, because he does this business. So shout out to Nas. Um, he's got a great video on how to go into Home Depot and buy something called, I believe it's called Mason's Ladder, right? And then you can buy a bolt cutter, the smallest bolt cutter they have. And when you buy the Mason's Ladder, it's like $3 for one. And out of that one, you can cut out basically, I think it's like eight steaks out of one $3 Mason's Ladder. And but check the video out. His video is very short, but it's real simple, real detailed, showing how to save a lot of money just making your own steaks. That's essentially what I do, and how I do mine. So yeah, so steaks with Home Depot, and I purchased my signs from Dirt Cheap Signs. I think that's about it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me here at kingdomwholesaling@gmail.com. You can always comment below. I will reply to comments. And you can always reach out to me here also, 757-572-6941. Again, this is Kingdom Wholesaling. Please like, share, subscribe. Again, comment below. Let me know what you thought. If you have any questions, if I forgot anything or said something that you didn't get, or you need some clarity on something, please feel free to reach out to us here. Again, I am in the Hampton Roads section of Virginia, and this is our market, and we do Norfolk, Chesapeake, Suffolk, Hampton, Newport News, all the way up to Williamsburg. So if you're in the area, please reach out to us. We JV, we help people out. Let's link up. All right. Again, it's your man Chris. This is Kingdom Wholesaling. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.